Hey guys, tonight we are in the 2019 Challenger Scat Pack Widebody 6.4 liter V8, wide wheels, wide tires, Brembo brakes from the Hellcat, fender flares, this awesome purple. It's so wide it barely fits in this parking spot. We have 485 horsepower, 475 pound-feet of torque, made it to an 8-speed transmission. This is a badass machine. It looks awesome, it sounds awesome, and man, does it have some grip. Okay, let's go for a drive. So I've had this for a few days this week, and the more I drive it, the more I like it. I am really pretty excited about this car, mostly because to me, this seems like a track day special that Dodge put together for just a very specific type of enthusiast. It has all the brakes, all the tire you possibly need from a car with this weight, this power. It looks the business. It's a really, really impressive package. This actually might be, I'm going to start off the review by saying this might be my favorite muscle car on sale today. It might be the most fun, and it's pretty darn capable too. The grip is unreal. We're going to start off tonight. It's a little bit chilly. It's 46 degrees outside, but we still have some grip from these tires. So we're going to leave it in custom mode, which is street suspension, street transmission, and we've got traction control in sport, and the steering also in sport. The last few weeks, I don't really want to make this a comparison video, but we'll start off by just comparing it just off the cuff to the Camaro and the new Mustang. I drove the new Mustang Performance Pack 2 the other day, and it was great. It sounded awesome. Zero steering feel. Zero feedback from any of the inputs. Not a lot of brake feel, not a lot of steering feel. It was great. It was numb. This is anything but. The 8-speed transmission shifts like crazy. And this is just normal mode. This is street. This isn't even getting into track mode. If we throw it into track and we do that same pull, it just bangs into the next gear. The only thing you don't get is the whine from that supercharger like you do in the Hellcat. But honestly, this car is just as fun. It really is. Entrance speeds into a corner are they're insane. I can't even talk, we're going so fast. The more you push it, the harder you go, the better it gets. Dodge did a lot of work to the suspension on this wide-body Scat Pack, and it really shows. They stiffened up the front spring rates, left the rears a little bit softer to give you a little more traction, tweaked the sway bars, bigger, hollower, lighter bars, and the brakes are just phenomenal. They last all day long. Feel isn't awesome, but they really do get the job done and give you a ton of confidence. While there's no one behind us, let's give them just a little bit of a squeeze. Huge power. Just colossal grip from these tires too. I believe these are Pirelli P0s. They need a little bit of time to warm up, but luckily you've got a lot of things that you can see in the performance display, including tire pressure. to see when your pressures start coming up and you start getting a little bit more grip from the tires. And this car is livable. I'm going to do a day POV test drive too, where I can show you just around this car in the daytime, because it's an absolute shame to not show this purple in any type of light. It just pops so much. But it's pretty practical. There's a large trunk opening. You can actually fit some people in the back seats. It's not terribly loud. I think it's just the right volume. When I first got this car, I wanted just a little bit more tone out of the exhaust, a little bit more harshness, a little bit more. But once you get into it, it sounds nice, and it sounds good from the outside too. And it really has curb appeal. This thing has so much presence. I had a guy today in a Hellcat taking photos of the car outside of his window. It's pretty funny, actually. And then once you're done tearing around, you can set it into custom or auto mode. The ride is comfortable, nothing's overly harsh. I mean, this car is definitely showing its age. It's a dated platform. This is still a little bit of an old school muscle car. But man, they've done a bang up job refining the suspension, putting on some proper brakes, and really making this a grip machine. I mean, this Challenger can do things that no Challenger has really been able to do before. And I will tell you, I did spend a day with these on the track a couple years ago, and it can take abuse all day long without even breaking a sweat. It's pretty amazing how hard you can push these cars, and they'll just take it. They handle well, they're predictable, they're neutral. You can really adjust them with a throttle. You can power out of corners early. And on the street, it just gives you a little bit more confidence to have fun. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this. I would actually maybe buy one of these someday. I never really got it until I started driving these things on track. And I've got a little bit more experience in Hellcats and Challengers than a lot of people. I do a lot of instructing at M1 Concours in Pontiac, and they run those in their fleet. So we'll give thrill rides to people and go for hours at a time in their Hellcats. And those have a lot more power than this car does. But this, I think, is just as fun, and you save some money too. It's a simpler, lighter machine, maybe a little bit more of a purist's breed. Yeah, this might be my favorite muscle car. The thing I didn't like about the Camaro, it was fantastic, but the damn tires, the run flat tires ruined it for me. They're so loud. The NVH was horrendous. Every bump you went over just resonated throughout the entire cabin. It really made it kind of a challenging driving experience to enjoy. Whereas this, yeah, it's not very refined, but you've got a lot of features in here. You've got heated steering wheel, cooled seats, heated seats, tons and tons of things to look at in the just performance display. You've got oil temp, coolant temp, oil pressure, battery voltage, air intake temp. It'll even show you your horsepower and torque numbers, tire pressures to the number. There's a lot to explore in this car, and I haven't really done it yet. This is basically just kind of my first impressions on it, but it's pretty cool. Ergonomically, everything seems to be laid out and set up quite well. I like the paddles. The sound system sounds pretty good. So, yeah, I like it. The seats are big and cushy, and just everything about this is over-exaggerated. It's wide, it's massive. But it kind of has a sense of humor, especially with all the heritage colors that they're introducing. This purple's phenomenal. Look at these wheels. I think this is the old Hellcat hood, too. You've got some cool details on the lights, too. You've got, these are now air intakes, just like the Hellcats. I mean, this thing is still shaped like a brick. And it does get 17 miles to the gallon when you're babying it. Probably about 16 when you're driving it normally. And I'm sure, like, if you're driving it tonight, easily in the single digits, but who cares? Even the fuel cap that you're going to be using a lot is a little bit of a throwback to old fuel caps. Yeah, I like it. There's no wonder why these things are selling like crazy. You see them everywhere in Detroit. They're all over the place. And I can see why. And I hear they're pretty cheap. You can get into a lease in one of these for not too much. And as spec, this is around 55 grand. Not that expensive for what you're getting. This is a really good price point. It's a competitive price point, but it's a really good price point for this car. I would definitely swing for the wide body. It's 6 grand, but boy, is it worth it. Alright guys, well that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. We'll be updating you with a day drive in the next few days. And I'll show you a little bit more around this car. And we'll take it on some different roads too. But yeah, I'm a fan. It's cool. Alright, we'll see you guys later. Take care.